Good evening and a warm welcome to everyone. We are delighted to have you here and thank you for taking your time out to attend this interesting and insightful session on preparing visionary leaders for the future, gaining insights into the IIM Ahmedabad Senior Management Program Batch 11. So I have the privilege of introducing distinguished program directors of the IIM Ahmedabad Senior Management Program. We have Professor Arnab Laha and we have Professor Manjari Singh. So Professor Arnab Laha is a renowned faculty from the production and quantitative methods area. He has been rated amongst the top 10 most prominent analytics academician by Analytics India magazine in 2014. Professor Arnab Kumar Laha has also been cited as one of the best business school professors by Business Today magazine. And he was also rated as a leading business school professor by Business India magazine in 2012. So Professor Laha has a master's and PhD from the Indian Statistical Institute and has multiple research and publication to his credit. I would also like to welcome Professor Manjari Singh. She's a professor in the human resource management area in IIM Ahmedabad since the last 23 years. She has a doctorate degree in human resource management from the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. She has been a John Curtin Fellow of Curtin University of Technology, Perth, Australia. Professor Singh has published more than 40 co-authored papers in peer-reviewed international and national journals. She has been a consultant for government and private sector organizations, including the 6th and the Central Pay Commissions. And recently, she consulted for the 2nd National Judicial Pay Commission. And Professor Singh is currently in the editorial board of the Human Resource Management Reviews. Warm welcome to Professor Manjari Singh and Professor Arnab Laha and all those who are present and joined in recently. If you look at this batch, this is batch 11, and typically any program in the market is known by the number of batches that it produces, the cohort that it produces. So the SMP cohort usually ranges from 150 to 130 numbers, and it's been like the 11th batch already done. So there is more than 1,500 illustrious alumni who have passed out of this program. And every batch has an average age of around 18 years. And if you look at 18 years into an average batch size of 130 in the class, you have an intellectual property experience, collective experience of your peers put together of around 2,300 years in the class. Now, that is what makes the IIM Ahmedabad Senior Management, extremely insightful and interesting, and where people can learn a lot from most participants also. So, most professionals tend to grow within their area of domain and expertise. This is what we have seen, that a sales guy, marketing guy, operations guy tends to grow within their area of domain and expertise. But then comes a time when, everybody kind of starts thinking, what got me here may not get me there. And that is actually good, in the sense that when you start and reflect that, how will I reach to the next level? One is you learn on the job. The other is you look for a structured intervention, which kind of helps you to, take that leap from a functional expertise to a, larger leadership role expertise. And this is exactly what the senior management program enables you to do. It gives you the general management perspective of all the key functions of business, not as a practitioner of those functions, but as a person who can understand the terms, terminologies, the concepts, and use that from a strategic decision-making, thinking, planning, decision-making perspective, so that you can actually apply it, as you kind of have larger roles and responsibilities to take care of, right? So let me get on with the, objective of the program. Like I just mentioned, equip senior management professionals with the concepts, paradigms, underlying management theories that are critical to understand and drive business from a senior level position. Develop perspectives that are required to lead high-performing organizations and take strategic decisions, right? The whole cohort and the intellectual property and the experience, it will help you do that. And in that kind of, in conclusion, kind of create visionary leaders who can anticipate the future and guide organizations to higher growth paths. So how do you kind of manage disruption? How do you kind of, deal with disruption, etc.? Now, if you look at the program, it has rich modules of almost 13 to 15 rich modules. Like I said, it will give you a good perspective across all the functions of business, right from finance, to analytics, I think where new age managers, need to know how to deal with data, and analytics becomes very critical. As senior managers, you will be dealing with contracts, agreements, understanding, kind of leveraging law, not only from a legal perspective, but leveraging law from a strategic perspective. And how do you do that? Business communication, leadership communication, executive presence, how do you build that? It is essential for, senior managers to have an understanding of, global economics and how it impacts business and economics from a business perspective. Of course, financial markets and risk, are all part of today's organizational success, growth, inorganic growth, organic growth point of view. A lot has been spoken about, and as managers, when you get into senior organizational roles, corporate governance, ethics, and CSR becomes very key, and therefore, it's important that senior managers kind of have an understanding of those functions too. Managing self, managing teams, human resource management, organizational behavior, how do you manage your people and the team? Information systems, how do you digitize business? How do you digitally transform business? That's extremely important. Very interesting, content in marketing, new age digital marketing, as well as, neuro science in marketing. How does the mind work, and how do you leverage marketing from that perspective? I mean, while we spoke about analytics, an extension of that would be leveraging business from a digital perspective, marketing from a digital perspective, and then the use of AI and ML. So if you kind of, go through the content, you will see that it has evolved, as times have changed. And that's the beauty of a program like SMP. Operations and supply chain, which were massively disrupted, and therefore, how do you deal with that, in a new era today? Where the dependency, which was largely on a particular country today, has to kind of, either it is self-driven, or what are the options that we have? Organizational behavior, of course, part of HR. Strategy at the end of all of this, it all kind of culminates down to, all your understanding culminates down to how you apply them, from a strategic perspective. And of course, when you're doing that, managing risk and quality remains one of the key aspects of any organizational decision. So all in all, I think a very comprehensive, program. This is just to give you a snapshot about the program, because we would want you to internalize this so that you don't keep on asking these questions. It's a 12-month program. It's a 1-year program. Eligibility is 10 years, but I mean, the average profile, like I said, is almost 18 years. The program is live online, but it is from a VC Now center. So you have to come to a center in your city, which is a VC Now center. Plus, the best part about the program, one of the highlights about the program, is that almost 40% of the program is covered in terms of hours, is covered on the campus through 3 campus components of 4 days each, right? So across, so you start with a campus for 4 days where you kind of get to meet the faculty, you break ice with your team and the faculty, you understand, a lot in face-to-face classes in some subjects. You go back, you do your, virtual classroom-based sessions from the VC Now centers. After 6 months, you come back again to the campus, again go back to the VC Now centers and do your program. And the program culminates, that's the high point, with a campus in the IIM Ahmedabad campus for 4 days, where you get your valedictory, certification, alumni status, etc. The classes will be conducted on every Saturday, 10 to 1 from a VC Now center. And upon completing it successfully, you'll get your certification of completion and you'll get your alumni status. The fees for the program is 8,15,000 plus 18% GST payable in 4 installments, right? Just to give you a snapshot of the previous batches, a largely predominantly male-driven batch, but I think, there is a conscious decision to drive diversity, yesterday being Women's Day. And, I think as everybody, we need to drive that good mix of, diversity in the class. So we encourage a lot of women participants to please apply. Very good, profile of a majority of postgraduate participants, and along with that, MTech, chartered accountants, PhDs, right? So you're in good company, actually. Large part of the participants, almost 50%, is in senior management roles, 27% is in top management roles. And, you know, from a diversity perspective, again, people who are deserving and, I mean, you know, who have the specific, bring in specific strengths are also there from a middle management level. It could be an entrepreneur, it could be a doctor, it could be somebody who could bring in a different perspective to the class. A great experience mix, like I said, average age 18 years, and then you have, you know, people with more than 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30 also. And of course, you know, the younger audience from 10 to 15 too. I mean, the beauty of an SMP program is the spread of, you know, participants across industries. I mean, what you see as something that is standing out largely because ITES is one of the largest employers in the country, and therefore by default, number of participants, you know, would be larger from there. But you have a very good spread across various participant profiles from various industries, and that is where your real learning takes place. The last day to apply, actually, we are actually in the midst of, you know, almost selections, and the last day to apply is March 19th. Okay, so we don't have too much time. The technical orientation is scheduled for April 15th. The course will commence with a campus on April 18th on the IIMA campus. And thereafter, the scheduled classes will begin in the VC Now centers from Saturday at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The interim campus, I think once you get on with the program, you will get to know it will be in August, and the last one will be in April next year. I think with this, I kind of, you know, hand over to Professor Laha and Professor Manjari Singh. Over to you, sir.
So first of all, thank you, Mr. Mehta, for giving a comprehensive overview of the SMP. I and Professor Singh both would now like to hear the questions or comments from the participants that they have, and then we may react accordingly.
Sure. So if please, I mean, I would recommend that you could raise your hand or even, you know, kind of unmute and ask a question. Yeah. I mean, we've got a few questions on chat. I mean, I can even start with that, but
yes,
I would request people to actually start asking questions. That would be nice.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Vidhu.
Yes.
I have 25 years of IT experience. I know about IIM Ahmedabad is very good, but I have one basic question is, by nature, I am introvert, and when I go through the content, it's like what more we studied in MCA, MBA level itself in the beginning. All of those more theoretical, right? What extra add value will get it? See, what I believe is to grow up in hierarchy. In that, by default, we should have some inbuilt skills like being talkative, extrovert, mingling with them, those kind of things. So which I have very less, but just if listening to these theoretical classes, how it will help, which we know anyway, like we went through during MCA or MBA, and which we can listen even in YouTube also. So by paying so much amount extra, I know that definitely I am having in the resume, it will add brand value to get initially. But if we really want to grow in the organization, how it will help?
Oh, so hello, Vidhu. Can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay. So right at the beginning, you have raised the most important question, that how we differentiate ourselves from others. Okay. So you are saying that a name of IIMA on the resume itself would make a difference. Now, why would that happen? Why that would happen? Because over last 60 years or so, since IIMA has come up, it has differentiated itself in terms of pedagogy, in terms of content, everything from other management institutes in terms of whatever is being covered in the MBA program. It was called PGDM earlier, MBA now, or you can look at all our other executive education programs, be it certificate programs. Okay, so where do we differentiate ourselves? We differentiate ourselves. One, our pedagogy is very, very participative. As you are saying, one needs to be much more participative when you are taking a very senior management role. The content part also, if you look at it, it will cover, it goes much beyond, in our classes, text that you have read and prepared, what is given in the textbook is assumed. That will not be covered in the class at all. It is assumed that someone, whatever readings have been given, has come prepared with that. And then we discuss how that can be applied. In a classroom which has a wide variety of experience, you would get a lot of very interesting insights as to how one can look at a issue, how to actually, no one will even tell you what the problem is in the case. First and foremost, one has to sit and really discuss and figure out where the issues are, where the problems are there any solutions to it? Many of our faculty would say that there is no single solution. So it's not at the end of the day that you will end up with a single solution which can be applied to the workplace. That is also not our strength. So where our strength is, the skill that we totally focus on is critical thinking. Okay, critical thinking is basically providing you a very structured and analytical thinking in approaching anything. Okay, in understanding interlinkages that may be not just be within your own subject, but which may happen, which may also be across other aspects, other disciplines, other departments. Okay, so we are looking at, that is where we said we are looking to prepare visionary leaders, and we have a very, very long history of doing that because of that. Okay, so Vidhu, I don't know whether this fully answers what you were looking for.
I would just add that being an introvert is not a negative in going up the ladder in corporate. We have seen many introvert people reaching the top. So I think you should not think along those lines. And I think having the necessary skill sets and communicating whatever is required is crucial. And if you have that in you, I think that should be enough.
Yeah. Hello, Professor.
Yeah.
Good evening, professors. Can I ask one question?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, myself, Kuldeep Tamar, and I'm having 27 years of experience into operations. Operations into, you can say, manufacturing industry only. So my question is, actually, I have three questions. One is, can I have the detail of modules, the points, the topics which will be covered further? Because it will help us to decide, take the decision, because most of us are MBAs and we have gone through most of the topics. So if you provide the detail of further points, so it will help us to take decision. And the second question I have is what will be covered, the topics will be covered, or you can say the 12 days immersion program, campus immersion program, what will be covered in that? And the third question I have is regarding timing. Can it be an evening batch or it's only morning batch?
Well, if you have done an MBA in the last 5 years, I would not recommend you for this program. Okay. However, if you have not done it before 5 years, because of the fast-paced changes in the world that's happening, even all those topics that you have learned earlier needs to have a fresh relook, and this program will provide you with that.
Actually, last year I have completed one year course from IIM Kashipur.
Then I would not recommend you to join.
No, it was not MBA course. Actually, it was on strategy and leadership course.
So that's what I'm saying. You have just done something you already know, then there is no point again spending money on this.
Yeah, because the topics, most of the topics, you can say only four or five topics are matching.
Yeah, I'm giving you my perspective on your query. So if you are interested, if you have just done a course, then I would think it is not going to add so much value in the particularly in the areas that in which you have done the course. But if you have not done something which is in this area for last 5 years, that is definitely a strong case for you to upgrade your skills. That's point number one. The third point, whether it is going to be offered in the evening, the answer is no. I think the timings have been fixed by VC now, and that is what they have communicated, and there will be no change in that.
Yes.
And you also have a second question. Yeah.
The third question is also there.
Yeah. This another question was there. What was the question?
The third question was like in 12 days campus immersion program, what will be covered?
Okay, so there are various things that are done in each of the 3 campus immersion modules. So these are taught sessions in which you are in physical classroom mode. So for example, I would say that in the first campus module, we discuss things like how a case is to be learned, which is best done face to face. So several topics, the initial sessions are done in this campus module before the online sessions start to get offered. And in the final campus module, we also generally offer a capstone, so which is best done in a physical mode.
I think I'd like to clarify for
Thank you,
everybody's perspective that, please don't consider a senior management program. You cannot compare a senior management program to an MBA program. It's not an MBA program. Basically, like I explained to you, once you have work experience of 15, 18, 20 years, you would have learned something on the job. But to get on to the next level, you need to get perspectives of various aspects of business. Now, the perspectives of the various aspects of business is delivered through, the pedagogy that Madam was talking about, is you will have to read and come to the class, right? You're expected to come prepared to the class. Concepts are discussed and clarified, and those concepts are then applied in a discussion and a case-led manner. So here the learning happens from one of the faculties. It's also along with that what you learn from, because every concept is discussed in the lights of people's experiences, domain profile, geographies. So your learning is 360-degree peer learning that you will get. And then you might have to do an assignment and a project, right? I mean, we've kind of spoken with various participants, and we've seen that if you do this program with the right intent, put in the right amount of effort, you will find it transformational. Right? I mean, it will help you achieve your objective to get on to the next level, or prepare yourself to be ready for the next level, right? This is, very different from an MBA program, which is a teaching-based program. This is an experiential learning program. Yeah. Next, yes. Manoj Kumar, I think you had a question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. So my name is Manoj, and I have around 14 years of experience working as a vice president, leading engineering division for a startup. And I heard that we have to attend the classes from VC Now centers. I wanted to definitely enroll, but my only reservation is around, there is a chance that I might get deputed to a foreign country, maybe somewhere down the line towards the end of the year. So during any kind of situations in the past happen that, or if so, what would be the advice? Because it's quite a sort of uncertain right now for me, but there is a chance it might happen towards the end of the year, somewhere around September, October. So that's sort of making me not make a decision, to enroll or not. So I'd like to hear from you on how should I go about it.
So, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So currently our module does not have any hybrid classes. It's either online or it's on campus. So maybe you would, and we would be having these programs in future. So maybe you would like to defer this for a time when this job related aspect becomes more certain. I would advise you to do that, because we won't be able, once you have moved out, there is no hybrid model where we can reach a device. It's right now studio based model, and and it's an institute level decision, board level decision. So it's not easy to change any of the structure that we are sharing with you in detail. Many of the aspects of the structure are not in our control at all.
Naresh Joshi. Yes. Mr. Naresh Joshi, you have a question? You have a hands raised.
Yeah, please unmute and ask the question. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, the question I have regarding, actually, I'm from a consulting background, and I've been, doing all the stuff which happens in these case studies. And in fact, it's like a real life problem I keep solving with my clients. The only thing is I have done a master's, which is not like a full MBA. It's more of a master of management course I have done. So I was just thinking how this particular, 1 year's course is going to help me to enhance my skill. My aspiration is to, get into a senior management C-suite kind of role over the next 3-4 years, 5 years down the line. So I'm just still wondering that is it the right thing for me to do? I can't go for a full-time MBA. So that's how I'm, pondering about this course to go about.
You said the answer at the very, very end when you said you cannot go for the 1 year full-time course. Otherwise, 1 year full-time would have been my recommendation for you. But if that is not possible, then this is a good alternative.
Just follow on question on that. The content of this course is it very similar to what is taught there? All the contents covered, or is just a very, very condensed version of that 1 year MBA?
Since this is a senior management program, we do appreciate that participants will have significant real life experience with some of these processes. So we will not possibly discuss the very rudimentary things which we would otherwise discuss in a 2-year MBA. However, most of the important things that a senior manager needs to make a decision would be covered.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Pradyuman Mudaliar, can you come in? You can unmute and talk, Pradyuman.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Good evening, Professor. My question is very much related to what Laha. I have close to 18 years of experience, IT experience.
Can you speak a little louder? I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me? Better now?
Can you come
Yeah,
once
go ahead.
again?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll.
Yeah, no, I am on a headset.
Yeah. Now it's slightly better.
Yeah.
Slightly better.
Okay, so what I have close to 18 years of experience, IT experience. Predominantly, I am into mid-management. The purpose is very straightforward, right? I cannot get into a full-time executive MBA, so I'm looking for an option. And my questions are, one is how is different from on-campus program that currently is being conducted by different IIMs, be it Ahmedabad or Bangalore or Calcutta. So this is a blended program, right? Through VC now, so how is it different? And then will we have some industrial visit or some exposure in terms of how the board meetings or the board operates? Because at least my target is the senior leadership. So does this give us access to the alumni network of IIM? It could be a PGP or executive MBA. And how much weightage will this certificate add? Compared to, say, if I talk about IIMA, PGP, that is the best of the best kind of a lot, right? So how much weightage does this add? I already hold a postgraduate. I have an MCA from University of Madras.
I think Mr. Mehta said earlier that you should not compare a PGP with SMP because you are coming with a lot of experience, which the fresh PGPs will not have. So therefore, I don't think that would be a fair comparison to do. Secondly, is it a replacement for an MBA? Well, it depends on how you are going to use it. So if you are applying for, say, a government job and a senior position, which requires an MBA as a qualification, this will not qualify. So there you require an MBA because the government will insist that you have it. But in many corporate organizations, this will be treated very favorably, and they will appreciate the fact that you have gone through such a program and appreciate the nuances in which the senior management works. Board level visits are not possible simply because of the fact that board deliberations are confidential and no company would ever allow an external team to look at its board proceedings. So that is why it's not possible. I think Professor Singh can add.
Basically, what Professor Laha has said, that this you're having done this course, having will signal to the market that you are in possession of certain understanding about management principles. You understand how to apply certain management tools. That is what basically you're signaling to the market. And also, again, I'll repeat what others have said, that this is different from the 2-year postgraduate course, because there 50% won't have any experience. So their starting point is very different. They first try to understand the management principles, then they get into the job market. Our other courses are go in reverse, basically, that you are expert in your functional domain, or you are in a senior management position where you feel knowing certain tools or signaling that you know those tools is important, be it your future employers, be it clients. Okay, that is what basically the certificate is all about, the signal that you are in possession of that knowledge, that learning is there with you. Okay, so then you have to take a call as to what extent you want to hone yourself. The other aspect is, when we were discussing some important skills like critical thinking, etc., it's not something that can be developed in a week or two in a classroom and then will be fully developed for always. It's a skill which is always in a learning curve. So there is always some utility of going through some upskilling programs. Or now you have to take a call. What would, in your scheme of things, would matter? If you are looking for a leadership roles more in a general management, from a more general management perspective, this is where we are. This is what we provide, nothing less, nothing more. So then you have to basically now take a call as to whether it's. The other thing I would like to add, also based on some of the questions that are coming in chat, that what the topics we have given will all be very upgraded to include what is the current knowledge in that field. So going by the name of the topic, one shouldn't think that analytics would not be considered, or data science would not be considered, or certain developments in information systems would not be considered. That is not true. So those topics, even if those topics sounds like something you would have seen decades back also, that it has completely modified in the current terms. So you are not looking at topics, the content which were taught earlier. You are looking at the very content in a very current context.
Yeah, understood. Thank you very much, Professor Arnab.
Yeah,
one last question. Sorry, one last question.
Yeah, can we go to other person here?
One second, just one second, one question, then I'll talk. So we generally get typecasted if we spend, 10 years or 15 years in a kind of industry. So does this allow individual to come out of that mold, right? And does it allow them an opportunity to look at other industries? Is there a kind of a campus or an exposure to, is this also part of the program?
This is a risky question to answer, but what we know from anecdotal evidence is that is possible. But I think it is individuals' initiative that will drive that. The institute does not offer any placement assistance for this program. So there is no systemic process to make that happen. But what we know from the previous batches from anecdotal evidence that we have. It is sometimes possible, but it depends on the individual.
Okay, that helps. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
can
you.
you go to Samir Kale? Samir Kale, can you unmute and talk? Ask your question. Samir.
Hello, good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. I'm currently pursuing one more executive education course, and I think there's a lot of learnings and case studies covered there from Indian and MNC's context. It's on the strategic management course by Professor Chitra ma'am. And I wanted to know, like, in this senior management program, the case studies will be covering Indian and international context. And will that be, will there be materials apart from case studies like textbooks or anything?
Of course, I mean, each program has its own pedagogy. There will be a set of teachers like Professor Chitra Singh's course that you are going through. So therefore, it will be a complete package. And since you are already familiar with IIM pedagogy, you know how we go about things. And therefore, we will be sort of covering the topics that we have mentioned in some detail using the case method as our primary pedagogy.
Manish Pandey.
Just to add to it, it depends on the subject that will be covered and the instructor, what type of learning tool the instructor wants to give. So there will be textbooks, there will be readings, etc., based on what, based on the topic given and what the instructor would like the learning tool to be.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, professors. I'm Manish. I've done my MBA some 23 years back and have 23 years of work ex in financial sector. Currently, I'm into financial product distributions, and we are setting up our fintech. So I have my co-founders and management whom we would like to do this program. So I would like that, will it help them first? And second is, what is the, you can say, the assessment and screening criteria for them? And also there we have, I myself have done just now the M&A and restructuring course in IIM Ahmedabad. And in September, we are lined up for that fintech course. So will this 12 days plus the 10, 11 days we will be spending, so that will help us in that alumni status, or this 12 day itself will take care of the things?
You know quite a bit about IIMA, and so I think that makes our job easier. The program automatically gives you, this program automatically gives you the alumni status. So
Okay.
for that, you don't need to worry about.
Okay.
Regarding how much value addition it will happen, I believe since you have done it 23 years ago, I think it will be significant, because a lot of things has changed in business over this last 2 decades.
Yeah.
Now, since you have done already a merger and acquisition course, and you are also doing a fintech course, these are specialized courses, and it'll give you domain expertise. This would give you more of a general management expertise.
Okay. So it will help my co-founders and management team also, this course.
Now, this is a risky question to answer. What I will say is that if they put in their efforts to master what we are teaching, or rather what we are facilitating, then they will definitely get. Depends on their motivation and how much they're able to take away from the class.
Okay, sure. And what is the screening and the assessment criteria?
Well, I cannot really put it immediately on the public domain, but a good profile, similar to what Mr. Mehta has already said, would stand a very good chance of getting it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Basically, we are looking at strong profile people who can contribute to classroom learning. And at the same time, we are also looking for diversity. So this is, in general, that's what we can say about the about what our screening process is going to be. It's going to be systematic. And these two aspects is what we are going to primarily focus on.
Yeah, can we go to the next person, Professor? Jitendra
please.
Shinde. Jitendra Shinde, can you unmute and talk?
Okay, good evening all. Thanks for this nice introduction and everything. Okay, so I am Ahmedabad. Now, name itself is a big one. Okay, now my question is, somebody's like to put a foot into the entrepreneur or like to move to the business. Okay, in going into next 1 or 2 years. So I think there are some dots. I think although the person is having good knowledge, good experience, okay, for me kind of person, but there are some dots which I think the madam is also said that critical thinking, decision making, some problem solving, right? There are some brainstorming and everything, right? So whether this course will help that person for like me who will like to put into the entrepreneur or into the business. Right now I'm doing a job, but I like to.
What we would like to suggest that there may be other courses, other offerings, which may be more tailored to what you are looking for. If you are not looking for a generalist role, if you are looking for, if focus would be in starting up a new business, then your needs may be better satisfied with some other offerings that are there. IIM Ahmedabad, you can go through the other that programs that we are having, and you may feel that suits better if the focus is that. If the focus is what you have been just now sharing, critical thinking, decision making, in a generalist role, before you want to go into entrepreneurship, then this program is what you are looking for. Now that's up to you. You have to take a call.
Okay, I'm planning to go for that. It's not now, right now, but it will be down the line 1 or 2 years. I'm going to. So I think for two.
I will just add to what Professor Singh has already said, is that this will equip you with a set of tools and skills which are primarily tailored for managing big businesses. Starting up requires a different kinds, some new tools, and also a different kind of a mindset. Now, if you want to acquire those, then there are other offerings from our own institute, which you can have a look.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Rakesh Kumar. Rakesh Kumar, can you unmute and talk, please?
Yes, good evening, Professor. I have 21 years of experience in operation and heading operation in a manufacturing industry. So I have two questions here. Like one, how it will be basically helping me to go to the senior most position, because in your introduction presentation, you mentioned that most of the students, like majority of students, were basically from IT, and I am basically from manufacturing industry. So that is the first question. Second one is how I'll be basically selecting for this program. So these are the two questions.
No, I mean, we have a significant amount of IT, but that does not mean that we do not have manufacturing. Even in the current batch, there are quite a few people who are from manufacturing. So the program does help manufacturing executives also. That's point number one. Now, how you will sort of navigate this journey, I think it's very difficult for us to say from outside. But what we can tell is that you will get a set of tools with which you can possibly convince your future employer, or in your own organization, the future selection boards, that you are ready for the job. You have the necessary skill sets for the job, and they would not be let down by offering you that position. I think it will enhance your value proposition significantly.
Okay, so there will be enough case studies from manufacturing industries also. Is what you mean?
It will be a mix. It will be a mix across all industries.
Professor, I think his concern is most of the case studies will be from IT industry. I think that's not the case.
No, that's not the case. In fact, not very many are from IT industries, to be honest.
We have a healthy mix from manufacturing, which includes oil and gas, automotive, manufacturing, FMCG included. So I don't think you should be worried about that.
I think that breakup was sort of, if we had only in terms of IT and manufacturing, that manufacturing sector, I think in that breakup got sort of segmented a lot more.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Okay.
So it's not as if we don't have, and also we have found a lot of aspects that and insights that the participants from manufacturing industry bring are contribute a lot to the learning, because there are many aspects in terms of in a senior management role where their experience is very helpful. Okay, so don't worry, we are not looking only at IT. To add to that, in many of our programs, I don't know about this particular program, but in many of our programs, ITS participants actually come because they want a shift in terms of sector also. So they are looking for a shift in the sector through doing a proper structured course in management, which would allow them sort of, what do you say, platform to jump to another. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Chanchal Sriyotsava.
Yeah, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes,
yeah,
please.
Go ahead.
Thanks for giving such a nice brief about the program. And basically, I am in sales, and I'm having approximately 20 years of experience, and I've started my career in from just, you can say, from salesman, and till date I have reached to the level of I've become a regional head, and I'm working as a GM in MNC. So I always feel that something, and in fact, I have not done proper MBA also, because one of professor from IIM told me that instead of going after doing your BCom and going for MBA from any other institute rather than good MBA, IIMs, better to go for experience and then come back for studies and upgrade yourself. So I followed the instruction. Meanwhile, I have done MBA from correspondence. And 4 or 5 years back, I have done 6 months, 90 hours program from IIM Lucknow. It was sponsored from company. So I, being in sales only, and that too in a particular industry of cement industry, I feel somewhere stuck. And I always feel to come up from this position, from GM to next level, I need a lot of good exposure. So to what extent this program can help me out? Because it is a big struggle to join this program and do 8 to 10 to 1 classes every Saturday. Although I will try to manage, but to what great extent it can be helpful for me for my further career.
So do not try to manage. If you do not do it, then there is no point joining the program. I think that's my very clear message. Okay, so first be sure whether you want. Regarding the diversity of the exposure part, I think there will be 2 ways in which you can get exposure. One is the case studies, and there will be various kinds of case studies that you will be looking at from multiple sectors. So that is one way. Second is that you will be interacting with a cohort of very smart people. And that also gives you a lot of information and insights about the different sectors that are that are happening in the country. So I think these 2 ways you can broaden your exposure beyond cement, and maybe add it to your remarkable career that you have had. I must say that the growth that you have described is remarkable. So in addition to that, all this, in addition to that remarkable career progression, all this additional knowledge and information that you will get, hopefully will open doors for other sectors, because they already are convinced, they will be already convinced about your potential when you meet them.
Thank you. Thanks.
There are some questions in the chat actually, about how this program is different from the AGMP program, of IIMA.
IGMP is tailored towards, so I'll just tell you briefly about this, that IIMA began its journey with its famous 3-tier programs in 1960s, and which is a campus-based program, and it still continues after 60 years or so. And it was broken up into 3 parts: the middle management program, the senior management program, and the top management program. When we started thinking about exploring blended learning routes, we have brought 2 programs from that staple into a blended learning format, with obviously necessary modifications. One is the middle management program, which is the AGMP, and the senior management program, which is this SMP, blended learning SMP. So therefore, there have been clear demarcation in our minds about who these programs are targeting to. And while the topics may look similar, but there will be, as we have said, differentiation in terms of the expected experience and therefore how we present the topics to this group. So the topics the same topic may be presented in a very different way to AGMP program participants than to the SMP program participants. So I think the differences are more in the nuances and how we factor in the experiences that the participant has.
Yeah. If I may add, the level of discussion in a senior management program, because of the profile and the cohort, is very different from the level of discussion that you'll find in the AGMP cohort. There are 2 distinctly different cohorts. So the level of discussion itself is very different.
Okay. The rest, can I take someone from, Nilanjan?
Hi, am I audible, sir?
Very much audible. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. So I have a very specific question. I come from a very different background. I am a compliance professional with 14 years of experience into company compliances and investigation, corporate investigations. I aspire to be CEO or top level leadership team in the, say, coming 10 years or 7 to 10 years. That is what my aspirations to be. Now, I just wanted to, because I'm from a very different field altogether, how this program is going to help me, and if this program is applicable if I travel abroad, because my wife, she lives in London and she aspires to stay there. So if I want to move out, what is this program is going to help me?
The second part of the question, I have no answer actually, because I think it also depends a lot on the kind of the companies that you will be interviewing when you reach London, and they have their own rules. So I think without knowing the details, I would not like to comment on that. Regarding the first part, I think our answer will be very similar to the other ways, because when you are trying to aspire for a CEO role, you require a very different kind of skill sets. So whatever you have, the compliance skill sets is definitely, you are very good at that. You are doing extremely well. But you require a different set of skill sets, and that you will be able to acquire from this program.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Srinivas Siripurapu. Srinivas.
Yeah. Good evening, professors. This is Srinivas Siripurapu. I have 25 years of experience in HR domain, working across in various businesses, right from what is a manufacturing to power generation, steel structures, and now into ITEs. My question is that how this course will help me if I'm moving to US for further later part of my life right now, and what are the perspectives with respect to US market with this course being recognized? Because in most of the industries in US, they don't recognize your Indian experience or your Indian qualifications. Though I have good many certifications related to HR and functional areas. But I'm still trying to understand if this course is useful for me to move to US and get recognized. Yes, he is a senior. Otherwise, they will start me at a lower level.
So if your only goal is to go to US, don't do this program. You do a proper certified MBA. Okay, because that is the only degree that will be a proper master's degree from a recognized place is what will be required for that.
I do have a master's degree from MS University, which is also a well-known.
I think that would be enough because they don't really care about
whether the
other kind of certificates.
IIMA label will help me in what is
Absolutely. That is something that I am going to tell you. Some organizations will recognize the IIMA label because IIMA is quite well recognized in US. So there will be some organizations which will recognize this label and they may give you preferential treatment. But no promise from my side. I don't know whether Professor Singh would like to make a promise, but I am not going to make a promise on that count.
A lot of our alumni are there. They recognize, not just our, means IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, a lot of alumni are there. They understand the significance of this label, but the possibility that it would be reaching them, we don't know. Professor Laha teaches probability. He should be. He's the right.
But that should not be the motivation for doing this program.
No, the thing is, if I'm moving to US, right, with the existing university qualifications, and though the experience of 25 years of HR being a AVP level person, they may not start me even as a manager there. That is the I can say pun of the scenario. That is why I was looking for some more relevant. Either it is help me to adopt into the system in US, or are there specialized courses which will help me there, which are well recognized there.
So that's what Professor Laha was just at the beginning said, that it was maybe a recognized degree with the label would be helpful. Maybe, again, I'm saying maybe, you need to find more details, but a recognized degree, not a certificate program, but a recognized degree program with a recognized label also in the field of management. For example, it's IIMs. In the field of technology, it's IITs. So that may help. But then again, you'll have to do your own homework.
As I'm a working professional, I may not be able to go for a full-time course at this juncture of time frame.
So a lot of the 1-year program participants are all working executives who take break and whichever way they can take and join those programs. The 1-year programs are meant for people who have a lot of who have work ex. Yours, of course, we understand that you have a substantial work experience. So, but others may not be having that substantial work experience. But those programs are targeted for that type of learning. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go.
We have a program like that called the MMS program, which is also in the e-learning mode. But this is now being reviewed. So there is right now we cannot comment on that. So if that comes back and once the review is over, then maybe that is another program.
That's another. That's also a degree program.
That's also a degree.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Can we have Rajneesh Bhatnagar?
Yes. Good evening, professors. So my question is around the evaluation methodology. I was going through the brochure, got a lot of information about that. Just one query from my employer perspective. They would like to know if I am into this program, how I am doing. So would there be any semesters or modules divided into, and we are getting module or semester-wise results, evaluation, anything like that?
Not semester-wise, but most of the modules will have an evaluation component, and evaluation will be done and the grade sheet will be provided.
So basically, as and when the module gets over, the instructor would do the evaluation, and then there's a certain time within which they provide the results. But in a structured form, it will only come later.
Okay, thank you.
Sujit Jagtap. Sujit Jagtap.
Yeah, good evening, Professor. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I come from a very different background. So I work in EPC industries, which is into capital projects. So my official role is just a bid manager, but currently my unofficial roles are cover a larger spectrum, like pre-orders and post-orders, which also includes techno-commercial aspects of the projects. So I have already performed, and I have already got the recognitions from my company regarding my potential for the future roles. So my aspirations now is I need some good tagging of education, and second is I need someone to believe in my potential and skills. So considering these two aspirations, how will this program be helpful for me?
Yeah, I think yes.
So as we were discussing, basically the certificate is a signal that you have learned certain basic principles and tools in which are required for senior management roles. So but how you are then able to capitalize on that, you will depend a lot on you. But then you would be gaining also a network through this program. That network may also be able to help you further, but it would be depending a lot on the individual initiative to how to take one's career forward.
Okay, but the network would be accessible for me post this certification program, right?
A network meaning, see,
alumni
your
network
itself, yes, your batch itself, alumni network is one aspect. What I was more talking about, your batch would be having around 130 to 150 participants. Okay. There are for this program itself, there are 10 plus editions.
Okay.
So, and this network would be more aligned to what you're looking for. Alumni network in general, people would be from all different background, etc. But this one would be aligned to what you are looking for. So how you are able to, and you will be having a lot of informal networks within this group. So how you are able to basically
leverage these.
Leverage this would be
learnings and networks.
And the SMP network is the most active network across. I think we always keep getting information that there's a SMP gathering in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. They do a lot of these networking activities.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, professors. Thank you.
Yeah, can we have Madan, please? Madan. I think we are already running out of time. We'll take 2 more questions, and other questions you can put it on chat. We can certainly come back to you on mail. And if you want to call us and speak to us, contact details will be shared with you. You can call us. So last 2 questions, Madan.
Good evening, professors. I am Madan. I'm an entrepreneur. I have an experience of 27 years. I have a few questions. One is this SMP, Senior Management Program. Is this focusing mostly on professionals, senior professionals, or the entrepreneurs also focused here? Because I think there will be slight thin, line between the entrepreneur and the professionals, the kind of way of thinking and the approach. So,
as I mentioned in an earlier response to another such query, this program is actually meant for senior professionals.
Okay.
So the focus is on professionals and people aspiring for senior management roles or top management roles in due course of time. Professor, however, as an entrepreneur, you know that a lot of these skills are transferable. So an entrepreneur would be doing a lot of these activities, either through a small firm or themselves. And there will be some other things that an entrepreneur needs to do, like raising capital or taking risk, ideation, and so on. Those are not covered in this directly. There are, since the overlap is very large, you may actually find some of these things being discussed, but that is not the aim of this program. So as Professor Singh earlier mentioned, that there are other specialized programs in the institute which focus on entrepreneurship. And you may also have a look at them.
So, as an entrepreneur, shall I be trying to part of this or not? What is your suggestion?
There have been earlier several entrepreneurs who have been part of this.
Yes. And there are wide range of segments, segments here, right from the manufacturing to IT to various different segments. And how actually the case studies are being taken, because everybody's expectation from this program will be from their experience and point of view.
That is why we have 60 years of experience to leverage on. So how to deal with these cases. It's a daunting task, but well, we have been doing it for long.
And the one most best thing from this program you have offered is that the alumni status. And will this alumni be the common for entire IIMA, or this is a separate alumni for SMP program alone?
We have an executive education alumni and the regular alumni. There is no formal differentiation as such, but there is this kind of a notional difference. So yeah, you will be part of the executive education alumni, if I remember correctly, but this has to be checked. So I will request the VC Now team to give you the...
No, there's only one alumni status in IIM Ahmedabad.
Yeah, right now it's only one.
It's only one alumni status. You will be part of the alumni network.
Yes, Professor. One last thing is I'm largely looking at the large extent of network with all senior people and entrepreneurs, and IIMA alumni itself is a great advantage for entrepreneurs or any senior people. That is what I am looking at, and I am interested in getting into this program, Professor.
Thank you. Hope you will get that.
Hope you're also interested in learning, Mother.
Of course.
Yeah, because that is going to be the single most criteria for selection. Okay, I think we are already running short of time. Please, thanks for all your participation.
Last question, I think we promised two.
Yeah, Amit, Madan was asking multiple questions, follow-on questions. Amit Katara, last question from Amit Katara. One question, please restrict to one question.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, professors. I have already, I'm working at a middle senior level, status. And I've already done executive program in business management from, that is a general management program from IIM Calcutta. Didn't find it much more use in order to get it at the top level. I've been into agriculture sector, basically trading into agri commodities and all those things. So I was just, basically, I just want to ask that how this program will, help us to get at the top levels, means like, is it been like industry, very well recognized program that, that the people get selected for the top levels and all those things, how this is going to help us.
When did you do the IIM Calcutta program?
It was in 2009.
Okay. Yeah. Professor Singh may like to.
So as Professor Laha has already shared, this our 3-tier program is a very established and old program, almost 60-year-old, which we had basically, there were 3 parts to it: middle management, senior management, and top management. It has always been doing very well, and that is where we thought that we would now include it in blended learning. We had now 10 editions of blended learning also. And participants' feedback have been very favorable in terms of learning and their career growth. So
sorry, Professor, to interrupt you. You know, what our aim is to do this program is to get at the top levels, you know, that our CV gets shortlisted, you know, while seeing those. In terms of work, we know each and everything, right? How the industry, in my part, because I've got a 20 years of experience, I know how the things move in, right? So the thing is, I just, whether this program is basically becomes a criteria to shortlist your CV for the top management levels, or
whether it definitely helps. I can take that risk and say, I'm not sitting there for shortlisting, but I'm taking that risk and saying, this label, as we shared, you are sending a signal that you have done this program meant for a certain position, which has equipped you, because everyone here coming is expert in terms of their field and have a lot of expertise in what do you say, in terms of the practice, whichever field they are practicing in. Okay, so whoever is coming here with that rich experience. So our this signal is very clear that who we are selecting have the rich experience. We are adding certain tools and principles also there. Whoever is sitting there, that most of the time people would understand this signal.
Do anytime happens, Professor, that company comes in and, you know, asks you that, okay, we need certain, you know, good guys from SMP program. We want to, you know, we are looking for some senior leadership people. So sometimes it happens like it's a campus kind of, or maybe like, you know, any interaction in terms of going
we
forward.
We do not offer placements assistance in this program. So even if that happens, we are not going to help you in that. So let us be very clear on that. And secondly, I think whatever Professor Singh has said, there is a proviso to that. The proviso is that you will take away from the program as much as you can. Unless you put in that heavy work, and that is a very heavy work, to actually extract the most from this program, your future aspirations of getting into top management positions will not flow. I think that is something that is hidden in this message, and I think that should be kept in mind.
It's the other way around. Actually, every batch after batch, the corporates nominates their potential leadership, are people whom they want to take, or who are going to acquire leadership position. They nominate batch after batch from their organization. Large organizations does that even today. So that is probably like what Professor Manjari Singh said. That is a testimony for industry acceptance. But if you are asking straight away a question, if I put my CV into the bucket saying that I am from SMP, I completed SMP, after 20-25 years, I personally feel that your CV is evaluated on your, not on your tag that you bring in. It is more evaluated on the quality of work after 25 years, 20-25 years. At 10-12 years, what you say might happen. So yes, it will give you a lot of learning. It will give you perspective. It will help you to it will help you in your decision-making process, by which you will be able to put in a lot of quality work in your existing organization or existing work, which will take you to the next level.
Okay.
Is there is a direct correlation? We cannot comment on that.
Okay. Yeah. Understood. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
So I think
I think yes, yeah, there is, we are through.
Yeah. So I think, you know, we could like to kind of conclude, and considering, I think, the doubts that people have, I want to reiterate, you know, over here that basically, you know, I mean, as you grow, like Professor said, that, you know, I mean, everyone who comes here is functionally, you know, they've grown very well within their area of domain and expertise. They've kind of become experts. But, you know, this program is what actually builds adjacent skills, you know. So as you grow, you know, for to be ready to take on the next level of, you know, that you aspire, the leadership level that you aspire to grow, you need to develop adjacent skills in various other domains of the organization or functional areas of the organization. And this program is an intervention which helps you do that. Now, having said that, I think, I mean, you know, the effort part of it, every week there are 3 hours of classes. the faculty and IIMA expects you to study at least 1 hour a day, put in 7 to 8 to 10 hours in a week, over the weekend, while you're traveling, in the night, whenever you find the time to kind of read, come prepared to the class. Apply those learnings, do the assignments, projects, assessments, put in that effort. And you can be rest assured that if you put in the right amount of effort and do it with the right intention, you know, there will be a transformation. And I think just to answer questions of people who said that, you know, I want to change gears, etc. I mean, simply ask yourself a question that tomorrow when you're out in the market and you have 10, you know, profiles and there is an SMP, IIMA SMP profile, I mean, it is logical that people will want to see you and talk to you. And one thing is there that, you know, once you have done this with that right intention and effort, you know, that transformation will talk. That transformation will get you ahead. You know, why should you get a, you know, placement after this program? You should be placed for life. That's the kind of transformation that you should look for and endeavor to kind of add value in yourself. That once you do this program, you progress, right? That is the value that this program builds into you. So I think having said that, I think we would like to kind of, you know, once again, remind you, March 19th is the last date. The technical orientation will happen on April 15th. The program begins with a campus on 18th April. And thereafter, every Saturday, 10 to 1 will be the sessions at BC Now centers. Then interim campus will be around somewhere in August 25th, right? And I would like to kind of, you know, I think if you still have doubts, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have doubts. We have our academic advisory team, which will help you, you know, for kind of clearing these doubts. So you can reach out to us, you know, on the number also, I think, which is shared in the chat. You can copy that. It is there in the chat. And, you know, on this note, you know, I think I'd like to thank the faculties also.
Mr.
And if they would have any concluding remarks. Yeah.
Mr. Mehta,
Yeah.
before we close, Mr. Jha, Savendra Jha has a question.
Okay.
So can we just...
Please.
Yeah, good evening, Professor.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Professor, just I have learned hearing everything, so many participants coming from IT, manufacturing, other industries. And I have a 25 years experience in oil and gas and refinery industry, mainly for oil and gas. And now I'm working at very middle level management as like a general manager. But I have a question, what impact will be of this project, is this program on my careers if I will go ahead? And because so many programs you would explain about so many people from IT, manufacturing, other industries. So have a differentiation in between programs, and have you this type of facility that can you give us substantial details and data for, especially for oil and gas and the sectors which is coming from any parts of India or abroad?
This is not a specialized program for oil and gas. This is a general management program. So you'll be getting general management skills. So if you are looking at an oil and gas program, I think there are institutes in the country which focus on oil and gas sector, and programs are offered. So this, okay, this is not a specific to oil and gas program. So it's a general management.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So we have participants from oil and gas who have done the program. I mean, we'll have our advisors connect you with alums who are from the oil and gas, and you can take their experiences from them.
I think we can close now.
Yeah. Professors, you want to have any concluding remarks? Yeah.
I think your concluding speech was very good. Let us leave with that.
Yes.
And we are very much looking forward to this 11th edition of the SMP and hope to see many of you there. Okay. Bye.
Wish you all the best. Have a great time.
Yeah. All the very best. Thank you, everybody, for joining, for your time. Okay.
Thank you.
We end the session.